Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a comprehensive 2026 guide designed to help you literally destroy your credit card debt once and for all. If you've been feeling totally overwhelmed by high balances, or maybe you're just stuck in that endless cycle of paying the minimums month after month, you are exactly in the right place. We're going to break down the absolute most up-to-date, math-backed strategies for 2026 so you can stop funding your lender's profits and finally start building your own real wealth.
So here's our game plan for today. First, the debt reality check. Then, 2 powerful payoff strategies. Next, your fast payoff plan, followed by mistakes and warnings. And we'll wrap up with motivation and next steps. Let's get into it.
All right, jumping right into section 1, the debt reality check. And spoiler alert, you are definitely not alone here. To put things into perspective, right now, Americans are carrying a staggering $1.25 trillion in credit card balances. Yes, that's trillion with a T. It's a massive figure. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York actually noted that aggregate nominal household debt has continued to rise sharply ever since the pandemic. So look, if you feel like carrying this debt is like having a second, highly stressful job that doesn't even pay you, you are far from the only one dealing with this.
But the real underlying issue here is what I like to call the interest monster. With average rates hitting around 22.25% right now, your minimum payments are basically just funding your lender's next yacht. A huge chunk of your monthly payment doesn't even touch your actual principal balance. It's like you're running on a treadmill that keeps speeding up. But today, we take that control back.
Moving right along to section 2, 2 powerful payoff strategies. This is a classic battle of mind versus math.
The good news is you don't have to just guess at how to attack this. We have 2 highly researched foundational battle plans to choose from. First up is the debt snowball. This method dictates that you make the minimum payments on absolutely everything, but you throw every extra penny you can scrape together at your smallest balance first. Once that's paid off, you roll that freed up payment into the next smallest balance. Research actually shows this creates quick psychological wins and incredibly powerful momentum. On the flip side, we have the debt avalanche. Now, this is where you target the debt with the highest interest rate first, regardless of how big or small the balance is.
So, looking at them side by side, with the snowball, your biggest pro is quick rewards, right? But the con is that it technically costs you more in interest over time. With the avalanche, it mathematically saves you the absolute most money long term, but honestly, it can take much longer to feel like you're actually making progress, which can easily lead to burnout. So what's the takeaway? The crucial point is choosing what keeps you engaged. While Avalanche is mathematically superior, a hybrid approach is fantastic. Maybe using Avalanche for your big, high-interest debts, but using the snowball to quickly clear out those annoying tiny balances just to stay motivated. Okay, section 3, your fast payoff plan. Let's get into the actual step-by-step playbook.
Step 1, map out everything. I highly recommend using a free tool like the Tiller spreadsheet to list all your balances, interest rates, and minimums in one incredibly clear place. Step 2, and this is absolutely crucial, secure your emergency fund. You need a cash safety net so an unexpected car repair or medical bill doesn't force you right back into credit card debt while you're actively trying to dig out. Step 3, budget beyond the minimum payment for your target debt. And Step 4, systematically roll over your payments as you clear each account, letting your payment power snowball until every single balance hits 0.
Now let's turbocharge this with a very specific tool, the 0% APR balance transfer strategy. Think of this like relocating your debt to a place where the rent is basically free. You're moving a balance from a high-interest card to a brand new one with a temporary 0% introductory rate. This usually gives you anywhere from 12 to 21 months of breathing room. And the best part? All of a sudden, 100% of your payment is going straight to the principal. Game changer.
According to NerdWallet's top recommendations for 2026, here are some powerhouse options to consider. The Wells Fargo Reflect and Citi Simplicity both offer up to an amazing 21 months of 0% APR. The Bank of America card offers 18 billing cycles with a slightly lower upfront fee if you act quickly, and Discover It Cashback offers 18 months plus some rotating rewards. But hey, massive warning here. Remember that you are almost always going to pay a 3% to 5% transfer fee upfront. So if you're moving a $10,000 balance, that'll cost you about $300 to $500 right out of the gate. Always run the math to make sure the interest savings over that intro period far outweigh the initial fee.
Now, what if you can't get a balance transfer card? Grab a screenshot of this right now. This is an exact negotiation script from SaverLife. Pick up the phone, call your bank, and just say, "Listen, I've been making consistent on-time payments, my credit score is improving, and I'm seeing other offers. I'd really rather stay with your company if there's any way to lower my APR." Seriously, it takes 5 minutes. And if you have a solid payment history, you might be totally shocked at how often they just click a button and lower your rate to keep you as a customer.
All right, Section 4, mistakes and warnings. We really need to talk about protecting your credit score while you do this.
Here's a question that trips up so many people. What actually happens when you finally slay that debt and you confidently call up the bank to close that paid-off credit card? It feels like a total victory lap, right? But wait, under the new 2026 FICO 10T scoring models, closing an account can actually be a massive red flag for your credit score.
And here is exactly why. By closing the card, you suffer an immediate utilization spike. Let's break that down. Say you have 2 cards, each with a $10,000 limit, and you have $5,000 in total debt. Your overall utilization is 25%. Not bad, but if you close the empty card, your total limit drops to just $10,000, which means your utilization instantly shoots up to 50%. FICO 10T looks extremely closely at this trended data. On top of that, closing the account risks hitting a 10-year aging cliff, where the card eventually falls off your report entirely, and that can really tank your average account age.
So you'll want to use this 2026 Keep versus Close checklist. Keep the card if it has no annual fee, if it's one of your oldest accounts, and, most importantly, if you can manage the temptation to spend. Only close it if it has a massive fee for perks you absolutely do not use, or if keeping it open actively triggers impulsive debt for you. And remember, a fantastic alternative is to just call your bank and ask for a product change. You can often downgrade a high-fee card to a completely free version at the exact same bank. That keeps your credit limit and your history perfectly intact without paying a dime in annual fees.
One final huge warning for this section. Please avoid debt settlement scams. You know the ones. Those radio ads promising to aggressively reduce your debt by 50 to 80%. As pointed out by resources like Valley of the Sun United Way, these programs are incredibly risky. They often require you to intentionally stop paying your creditors, which will completely destroy your credit profile, all while you pay non-refundable monthly fees into some separate escrow account. Look, if you need systemic help, always seek out reputable nonprofit credit counseling instead of these sketchy for-profit settlement companies. Finally, Section 5, Motivation and Next Steps. Let's talk about your debt-free vision.
Take a second right now and just imagine your 12 to 24-month debt-free vision. Picture the utter financial freedom of zero balances. Imagine taking those hundreds of dollars you used to blindly hand over to the interest monster every single month and finally putting that cash toward your real wealth, your investments, your family, your peace of mind. That is exactly what all this math is for.
You now have the tools, the strategies, and the knowledge to avoid the traps. The credit card industry literally profits billions off keeping you in the dark. So, what does this all mean? It means it's time to ask yourself, how much of your own wealth are you going to take back this year? Drop your target debt destruction number in the comments below, start applying these tactics today, and make sure to subscribe for our next explainer. You've absolutely got this. See you next time.